Hello, Andrea and Tara. Glad to see you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much for having us today. We're delighted to be here.
Excellent. So, we all know that recently the town got the experience of the opening of the Inspire Cafe. And of course, the Boys and Girls Club was the initiating organization for that, if I'm correct, along with many others helping. I don't want to make it sound like it was just you guys, it was a whole group of people, right? So, we're going to talk about that a little bit, and I'd love for you to start off with talking about where the whole thing came from.
Absolutely. Tara, would you like to talk about the history?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, there was a coffee shop that employed people with disabilities, and it unfortunately went out of business. And a group of parents and friends that were fond of the cafe and had employees that worked there got together and decided that they didn't want this opportunity to go away. And they got together with the Boys and Girls Club of Metro North and decided to create the concept of Inspire Cafe. And it went from there. And within 3 months, we were able to get everyone back to work and start a slush stand that opened up in Wakefield. So that was our first big venture. And now we're here less than 2 years after the first cafe closed with Inspire Cafe in our flagship location.
And what made the Boys and Girls Club get involved in this? I mean, I understand you guys are always about, children and helping an opportunity for that, but I mean, this does seem like it's a little bit sidetracked, or is it not?
So, the Boys and Girls Club's foundation is inclusivity, and what a better way to truly be inclusive to employ people with different abilities. And also for us, the club really focuses on being a good community partner. And so when a community agency or a group of parents or young people or adults with different abilities need additional support, that is where the club will step in, and that is where the club chose to step in and support this initiative.
Excellent. Wow. All right. So talk to us a little bit about the highlights of how this started, the planning, I can imagine the business plan was a big part of it. And then the contracting, finding a place. Many people who watch this may know that because they have their own businesses, but I have a feeling a lot of people don't know what it involved in producing or constructing a business, just at a regular business, never mind something that has such lofty goals as what you guys are doing.
Sure. So when the club started planning, as Tara mentioned, it started as a slush stand. So we were able to store equipment and things that we needed for the slush stand in some of the other club locations. And as the popularity of the slush stand continued to grow and more interest in the project, it kind of started snowballing. People were noticing that we were out there. They wanted to know how they could get involved and support. And the conversation started with the town. And, Wakefield has been exceptional to the Boys and Girls Club of Metro North and with this initiative in particular. And so through opera funds, through the town of Wakefield, we were able to work through and find a space on Main Street, which was the old bread shop. When that plan started to come to fruition, it made total sense because it was a new build and a new build out, but it had the bones of what we needed because it was the old bread shop. Tara, do you want to talk about some of the other groups that assisted us?
Yeah, I would love to know who else was involved in all this, because I remember when I was at the opening and we were covering that, so many other people that I was talking about who were talking about what they did to be involved in it.
Absolutely. So we've had a lot of people donate their time and experience to help us get where we are today. Icon Architecture is the biggest one. Janice Maymack, who is actually the parents of one of our employers.
I met her and had an interview with her. She's an amazing lady.
She's incredible. And she did all of our architecture work pro bono. If you come into the space, you'll see how much attention to detail she had and put so much thought into the space. And we had her engineering firm and construction pro, structure pro, that did some incredible work and lots of other, it was such a community effort. And we wouldn't be here without the support of Wakefield and all of the people that helped us get here.
Awesome. Excellent. Any challenges along the way?
Things? There's always
starting a new business is always, but anything that you took as a real learning experience in all of this?
So, I mean, construction is always construction. As you're doing a build out, there are always things that you're going to find. So, our original plan was we would be open for the holidays. Unfortunately, we were just a little bit behind schedule, which pushed us, right after the first of the year to open. And for us, that is so challenging because we have a group of people that are waiting to come back to work and really waiting to come back to work in a space that fulfills them. And not that the catering that Inspire was doing and the slush jam wasn't wonderful, but we also live in New England and we've had a tremendously cold winter. So the sooner we could open our nice, warm, beautiful location, to be able to serve warm drinks on those cold days and not slush, it was better for us. I also think too, ensuring that we prepared the team, and Tara has done and Rebecca have done a tremendous job ensuring that our team was ready to open, because it has been a rush. It has been very busy. There are a lot of people coming in and out to show support. And so for us to ensure that, we had our crew ready so that they weren't overwhelmed and they felt secure in what they were doing was hugely important. And, the BGC Inspire team really worked hard to make sure that we were all prepped and ready to go.
Yeah, and that energy that you talked about them wanting to go back to work, I want to jump into that for a second because, again, I remember at the open house, they were the biggest energetic group in the entire place. And there was a lot of energy going on in there. Talk to me about this, the people that are now the employees and other aspects of it, right?
Sure.
So it's not just the employees, or
so it's pretty robust. So we have, with people with different abilities to get everyone trained. We have Tara, who works tirelessly to ensure that, first and foremost, that our space is adaptable and equipped for our employees to work in, and really does tremendous professional development, which I will certainly let you speak to because that is totally your forte. I do want to say this, and I am recommending this to everybody in the world. Inspire likes to start all of their events with a dance party. I have to tell you.
I saw the dance party.
There is nothing that we are adopting it in all of our staff meetings at BGC Metro North, and I have to tell you that it is changing the dynamic of our meetings because everybody dances for 2 minutes before we get to business. And really, that was my greatest learning in all of my years, is that if you just turn a little music on and let everybody get loose before they sit down to do impactful work, everyone is smiling and having a great time.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should make sure that every business and organization
Yes.
in the world does that. I'm sure my guys in the other room are sitting there going, no.
We're starting here.
Sometimes
We
you
do a
have
lot
to
with
make
music
yourself,
as it is, so.
you got to step out
please.
of your shell and make yourself uncomfortable
Yes.
to have fun and really get that hard work going.
And it sounds like these, I don't want to call them kids, people.
They're adults.
Adults.
Yep, differently abled people.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're just having a grand time. Tell us about some of that.
Oh, I mean, our staff are what makes us, it's what sets us apart. We have an integrated staff program, so some of our staff have disabilities, some are typical abilities, but everyone that works for us has infectious personalities, and they're at work because they want to work. They're not at work to just get a paycheck, and it takes a special person to want to work at a cafe that employs people with disabilities and shows the world that people with disabilities are just as capable as other people. And I think our employees, when you come in and see them working, you see the joy on their face and that they truly love being at work and serving people and talking to people and making coffee and making a frittata sandwich. They all love that for some reason.
I've had the frittatas.
It's the frittata
They
in
are really
particular.
good.
It's their favorite thing to make.
Yep.
We had a tea training last night as our first professional development training since we've opened, and they all loved the tea. We got to try a bunch of different tea flavors and learn about the tea and the different tasting notes and what goes into making tea, and they loved learning about it. And it's just really special because you go into most workplaces and you hear about a tea training that you have to go to, and it's like, oh, I have to stay after work and go to a training today. And they get so excited to come to this training, and the entire time they're chanting, more tea, more tea, more tea. And it's just, it makes me, go home with a smile every day. And it's just the best job that anyone could ask for. So they're the
That is
best,
awesome.
and I love them.
That is awesome. Yes, there are no problems that cannot be solved by tea. What are some of the jobs that people do in the cafe? I mean, everybody kind of knows the typical jobs that are in a cafe, but what are some of the other ones?
So we have a barista role that most of our staff are in, and in that role involves being a cashier, a drink maker, or a food prep person. So in that role, they kind of rotate throughout their shift. So they're learning money management skills, how to interact with customers, how to prepare drinks, and how to not only make the food for customers, but cook it and learn the recipes and what it takes to store food and keep inventory and dishwashing and cleaning the bathroom, which is a skill that not everyone loves, but it's part of working at a cafe. So they're learning every single aspect of working at a cafe, and they're doing every role. They're not just sitting in the background washing dishes. They're up front taking the orders. They're learning on how to count money, how to pour hot coffee, put mayo on a sandwich, and that's a great feeling for them because they're not given those opportunities at many places. And the whole purpose of Inspire is to show other restaurants and other businesses that they are capable of the same skills that anyone else is. And we want to empower them as well because sometimes they don't feel like they're capable either. And they are. They just need to be given the right equipment and opportunities. So.
And now, speaking of opportunities, we have this opportunity that has opened and has been open for 4 weeks.
Just about.
Just about 4 weeks.
Just about 4 weeks.
How we doing?
Honestly, fantastic. You know, the cafe is busy. Business is doing well. You know, we obviously waited with bated breath. So opening weekend was huge. There was a line down the street. Everybody was there. And we, you know, even in snow and inclement weather. And so like any business, we got through opening weekend and said, okay, let's see what happens to the customer stream. And it is continued. It is continued. It is continued. And we are so fortunate. People, you know, people who have seen us on the news or heard us on the radio have come in from other communities. Wakefield as a community has shown up for us every single day. Our friends in Stoneham, our friends in Melrose, and really too, it is the most endearing thing is our employees invite friends, guests, families, and to have them have their friends, guests, families come in to see them at work it's just tremendous to watch. And I have to tell you, it's my favorite part. They are so proud to be there and to show off the cafe and their space and their skills. So things are going well right now. You know, we are looking towards nicer weather. We're looking towards some outdoor seating, which will be delightful because, you know, to get people outside and enjoy Main Street Wakefield. Because it's just been fast and furious. Even with, you know, some terrible weather Sundays, we still had great weekends at the cafe. And again, looking forward to, you know, adding some additional days to our open because we are currently open 5 days. So gearing up to open 6 and then open 7 so that we are available to everybody 7 days a week.
Yeah. And let's talk about that schedule so that everybody knows it.
Yes.
That's seeing this. Well, what is the schedule?
We are currently open Wednesday through Saturday from 7:30 to 4, and then Sundays from 8:30 to 2.
Excellent, excellent. And I did hear that you guys were planning to start using the area as like a community get-together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So
Because there's so many lack of spaces that people can kind of get together in downtown, just by happenstance of the way businesses have developed.
Yeah, so the beautiful space that has been created, you know, we are working with groups that want to come in and rent the space to do their own private events. Obviously, we have the capability to be able to provide food and drink and beverage for those events. We are, again, looking forward to some nicer weather so we can do some open mic nights or different things in the space just to kind of get people into Inspire so they can just see the full potential of what the space has and also again provide more opportunity for working hours for our team. Um, we are so fortunate. They want to be at work more and more and more, and they, everyone is always trying to, pick up hours, pick up shifts. They want to be there. They want to be at the cafe because the energy is also just so tremendous that it's a place to be. And, a lot of the BGC, the Boys and Girls Club team members, we will set up shop and we will work in the cafe because it's sunny, it's bright. The food is delicious. The coffee is always brewed, and it's just a great place for people to be able to set up shop, get some work done like a regular working cafe in any other community.
It sounds like the biggest problem you might have is people like wanting to show up even if they're sick to work.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
I love the work ethic. I really do. I really do. So with all of that that's going on, it sounds like you guys are super busy. What are you guys looking at as far as next steps? I know you're talking about the community using the space and everything, but do we see number 2?
So, yes.
Or something entirely different?
Well, no. So you are spot on. So number 2 will be coming soonish.
Yeah.
Probably by the summer. We will be opening up a non-storefront in the Medford Public Library, but Inspire Cafe will actually run the coffee cart that's in the library.
Oh, that's exciting.
It is exciting. So, Tara, do you want to give the history of that partnership and
Yeah.
how it kind of came to fruition?
So there was a coffee cart, and so the Medford Library is brand new. They've only been there for a little under 2 years. And when they opened up, they had created a space for a coffee cart, and they decided to give that space to a group of people that had a very similar mission to us, and it was called Chapters Coffee Cart. And it was an incredible mom who wanted to start this opportunity for her daughter so she could work and give other kids with disabilities coming through Medford High the opportunity to work as well. And they decided that they were unable to continue the demand of running a coffee cart because running a business is a lot.
Yep.
So they were looking for options on what to do with the cart when they made this decision, and they found us and came to us and asked if it would something we'd be interested in taking over the cart, and it was a no-brainer to us. We want to continue to spread Inspire, and one day I'd love to have 1 million locations, but this is the first
Right
step.
next to Starbucks, right?
Exactly. We're going to be the next Starbucks. But this is our next step to creating more meaningful work opportunities for people with disabilities in a more inclusive world. So
I tell you, I always loved the fact that I used to be able to go into Barnes & Noble, grab a book, sit down, and have a coffee in there. So this sounds like a great thing that you guys are planning on doing. It's amazing.
The other expansion, too, with Inspire is catering.
Okay.
So the cafe also is equipped to do catering for any occasion.
Now that I did not know.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes. So
what are we looking at for catering?
So it really, it's dependent on what people are looking for. I mean, they certainly can look at our menu. And
our whole menu is offered in catering format. We're about to launch our catering menu on our website in the next week or so. So that is coming soon, but it's something that we're going based off of. We did events for so long, and that's kind of what made us who we were on top of the slush stand. So it was kind of a no-brainer for us to continue catering because it's more job opportunities for our employees and more professional development opportunities as well. They're not only learning the skills of working in a cafe, but also what it looks like to work in a catering job. So,
Now, let's talk about that menu for a second.
yeah.
Because I've had the frittata, and it's amazing. What else is there, and how static is the menu going to be?
So right now, my current favorite this week is the caprese salad. The caprese sandwich on ciabatta with chicken. It's my favorite thing this week.
All right, I'm going there right after this because I want to try that.
It changes. It is delicious. The menu will have some seasonal items. Right now, we are showing a delicious squash soup. That will change to something a little bit different for the summer. I'm not.
In the spring, we're going to be switching to a tomato soup.
Okay, so it sounds like it will
Absolutely.
change itself
Yeah.
over by seasons.
by seasons. And obviously, too, like any other business, we will pull our data to see, like, what is selling, what is not selling, like, what are people really coming in for. And I will say, as the person who is fortunate enough to see those reports every morning, the frittata is huge. The chicken pesto is a huge hit right now also, that is also delicious. But it's, it's also too working with our clients that are coming in to eat, right? To see, like, is there something they want to see on the box? I know for me, I'm real quick to grab a charcuterie box to go for lunch on the go when I'm leaving, because we also have grab and go options.
Talk to me about this charcuterie box.
Oh,
this is
delicious.
This is not something you normally see on a menu.
Yeah.
No, so there's grab and go charcuterie boxes. So like a small personal charcuterie board, which cheese and crackers is always there's always a right time for cheese and crackers.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it has cheese, crackers, our house-made pickles, and pepperoni.
That are delicious. The house-made pickles.
Yeah, but our menu, the highlights of it is we really wanted to encompass, and Rebecca designed our whole menu. She's incredible.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about Rebecca, because she was amazing when we went in there to film for a couple of videos that we did for you.
Yeah, Rebecca is our current director of operations, and she is amazing. She is so supportive of all of our staff and runs the show so well. She cultivated our entire menu, and it's pretty much a scratch-made menu. Yeah. Our pesto is homemade. Like, everything is from scratch, and it's allergy-friendly, too.
Yes.
That's a big thing.
Not
huge.
Many places you can go and find a pesto that's nut-free and dairy-free.
That really is huge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's also, like, healthy, organic. Mm-hmm. We really have a big focus on sustainability as well. Our plates are, what is it called? Eco wheat. So they're recycled plates. And we'd love to be even more sustainable. So that's something that we're hoping to grow towards. We compost. So it's a really
excellent,
great menu. And
it is. I can wholeheartedly agree to that menu. And I'm going to have to go and have that ciabatta and the charcuterie.
Delicious.
Excellent. Well, what other things are there that we might have missed? Is there anything? And you guys have been busy.
Yeah.
You've been very busy.
We have been busy.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we might have missed?
I mean, I'd love to talk a little bit more about the professional development
Then
side
by
of
all
things.
means, let's talk about that, because I know nothing about that kind of aspect of it, and I'm sure a lot of people who don't really understand how this all develops through this.
Yeah, so I think something that sets us apart from other cafes that have similar concepts is our focus on professional development. We not only want to employ people with disabilities and give them opportunities, but we want to train them so they have transferable skills. So if they want to continue working for us, they can, but if they want to go work at Starbucks or at the local diner, they can take those skills and go get a job elsewhere and be proud of the work that they're doing. So we have individualized plans for each of our employees, where I meet with everyone one-on-one and come up with goal-based systems and do pretty regular check-ins right now. It's about on a monthly basis, and we check in and come up with some goals and some things they're doing really well and some stuff that they want to improve on. And that really helps each employee find what they love to do and some stuff that they might not love to do, but they need to get better at. And we also offer something we did before the cafe even opened, was weekly professional development trainings to keep everyone employed. They were paid trainings that focused on skills that they could use in the cafe. And we plan to continue those on a monthly basis. So last night was our first one for the tea training, where they learned about the tea products, but those will vary. We did allergy awareness training with our employees. So giving them skills that they'll be able to use and transfer to other workplaces is kind of the key to all of it. So they have the same opportunities as anyone else out there.
Now, how many people work there? Actually, that's a question I haven't asked.
I think we have 22 employees right now.
And have you had any of them yet be going off to find other jobs?
No.
Or are they all just
And
really
I
like
hope
and being
none
there?
of them leave.
Yeah, well,
But my goal is that if they do choose to leave, that they're confident in their skill set and they are ready to move on.
I feel like you guys are going to have some amazing retention numbers.
I hope so. That's the
Same.
goal.
Tara also is an exceptionally humble woman. So Tara is an occupational therapist, which ties all of this together for us.
Right.
Because with Tara's education and training, it is a true professional who works in the field to ensure. So it is not hodgepodge of how we are putting things together.
Right.
Because adaptability is important and adaptability is huge. So when we have new employees that come on, Tara does an assessment with them to make sure that, again, the cafe is equipped for what they need to be successful. So I have to give that plug to Tara because Tara will never say those things about herself.
Yeah. And I mean, I made sure before we opened that the cafe was full of adaptive equipment. And there's aids throughout, visual aids. We have verbal aids where we say like behind in the cafe, and we switch some of them to tactile for people that are nonverbal. So just like adjustments like that make the environment a more inclusive place is what makes us unique. And I'd love to eventually teach other businesses how they can make those changes to employ our employees as well, because they really are simple, easy changes, and you can employ some of the people that are so eager to get to work and do such an incredible job.
A question that we keep getting a lot is like, how can we help? We want to help, we want to help, we want to be involved. Right now the cafe is doing cup sponsors.
Oh,
so
do tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for a $5,000 gift, you get your company logo or your family name on the cups for a month. It's up on the board. It is highlighted to all of the Boys and Girls Club and Inspire followers on our social medias, which is upwards of 20,000 people, to say that people are supporting. And I am so excited to announce that Everett Bank is kicked off our first cup. Is it our first or our second?
It'll be our third.
Oh. Rewind that.
We'll do some
You guys have been indeed busy.
Wow, I missed the first two. So, who were the first two?
Layer Realty.
Yep.
And then Northern Bank we're switching to tomorrow. And then
okay, so I'm gonna back that up, okay? So our ways for people to support would be to be a cup sponsor.
Yeah.
We are on our third cup sponsor.
Amazing.
Yes, so for a $5,000 gift, you can get your business name or your family name on our cups for the month. We have had Northern Bank. We have had
Layer Realty.
I always want to call it loud. Layer Realty, and we will be starting, Northern Bank will start tomorrow. March 1st, we will start with Everett Bank. So we do have some available months if people are looking to support and donate. We also will probably auction off name a drink again this year at the Boys and Girls Club Gala in the fall.
Excellent.
But it is an initiative of the Boys and Girls Club, and I think that the thing that's a little different for people to understand is yes, it's a business, but it's not. It's an initiative. And all of the funds that are made through the selling of products are reinvested back into our employees. They're put back into the training. They're put back into salaries and things like that to ensure that people are trained. So it's not per se a business where there is a net bottom line. It is all reinvestment back because it is an initiative of the Boys and Girls Club. So as a nonprofit agency, we are always, looking for people who want to join our cause and help our mission, because that is what makes nonprofits work.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And the more money we raise, the more we can expand this initiative.
Correct.
And create more job opportunities for this community, because 17% of people with disabilities are employed, and there's a huge unemployment rate.
Yeah.
So we really need to increase that number, and through fundraising and expanding our program, we hope to change that. So.
Well, and I'm sure that everybody that's working there has a much better feel for themselves
Absolutely.
by the fact that they're actually doing something and they're being productive. I mean, I don't think it matters who you are, what kind of a person you are. If you're sitting around all day doing nothing, it starts to wear on you.
Absolutely. And I also think, too, for note of mention, Friends of Inspire Cafe are the parents of our employees that came from the coffee shop that closed and really organized themselves very quickly, and then found the club to be able to kind of push the initiative forward. But I always want to make sure that I shout them out, because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of advocacy. It is a lot of hearing no, or that sounds lovely, but we can't help you until they found a space. I really commend them, because they are not only advocates for their own children, they are advocates for the Boys and Girls Club, they are advocates for the cafe itself, and really just a tremendous group of humans that are trying to just inspire change in our world.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys have got a lot on your plate. You've already done a lot, but you also have a lot more to do.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what comes out of all of this.
We'll have to host you out in Medford when we open there, and
Yeah.
we can get coffee and read
We'd
books.
love to come down there. I'd love to have another frittata.
You're always welcome.
Well, Andrea, Tara, thank you so much for coming
Thank
with
you.
us and telling us about this. And we look forward to hearing about, maybe in another 6 months or so, what's going on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
All
us.
right. Thank you.